Hey guys, I'll give you an update on the build. I'm actually not going to use that frame. I'm probably going to put the old forks on the new bike and just put side pole brakes on it and use it as a normal bicycle. Might as well have a normal bike laying around. I'm going to reuse the seat posts, handlebars. I cut the frame to fit, as you can see, professionally done. I used the forks off of that bike with the handlebars. The shifters, I'm going to be using the grips. It's got some nice, there's an Allen key that goes here and here, and they're pretty good little, cheap little grips. Anyway, I'm not going to be using the shifters. There's just too much going on here. I can't reach the one lever down here, and this one here just hits against the throttle, so that's not going to work. And so what I'm going to do is I'll put the derailleurs on, but what I'll do is I'll just put an extra long set screw so I can set it to one gear for now, just so I can at least get some riding in. The front brake is adjusted and it is working. No problems there. Solid fork. You can see them welded up here. This is all metal, so it's not cheap aluminum where it's gonna snap or anything like that. The fork is welded right in there, so that means this is metal as well. Metal. And then what I'm going to do down here is I'm going to put this swing arm here to keep it from spinning out. Since this is metal and I can drill through it, it's just basically, it's been pressed here. I'm going to drill a little hole in the corner there and then bolt the arm right to it to keep that from spinning out. That's about it. Get close to getting it on the road. But like I said, I'm not going to use the shifters. It'll basically be two front and back brake and the throttle. That's it. It'll be a fixed gear. And the other one, I'm going to put the old forks on it and just make side pole brakes instead of disc brakes. At least I can use it. But this works either way. At least I keep the frame, I keep the geometry and the rear shock. I don't have to mess with any of that. It's actually worked out pretty good. So you can cut the frame to fit the forks if you're really careful. Like up here, I wasn't too worried about hitting the weld, but down here you would have to worry about it, because if you really dug into that weld there, it would crack here. So I'll do some research and see if I can find the cheap ones that go over the top, or even the ones that turn. No, I'm going to say over the top. I don't really care how high end they are. I really don't need one for the front. I barely touch that. It's just the back I would like to be able to adjust. So I'll see if I can get a cheap one that's up above the bar. Well, I lost the shifters. Like I said, there's no point in cutting them up when I can use them on the other bike. I'll just order a cheap one for the rear. I don't really shift the front that much, so I'm not too worried about it right now. But I'm just working on the wiring now. That's where it's gonna stay. I'll just making sure this will fit over top. And this is actually mounted to the frame. It's not gonna flop around like that. I gotta order up some pull ties, or whatever you want to call them. I can't use tape on this frame. Obviously I painted it, so if I use tape it'll probably pull paint off. I don't want to take that chance, so I just use pull ties, and then I can start mounting the wiring and doing some of the wiring. Looks pretty good. Really looking forward to trying it out. Brakes are working good. Maybe down the road I'll tell you what I used for the hydraulic. But I want to test it first to make sure it works good before I start bragging about what I used. But I'm not going to say anything about it. Next couple of days I'll pull this off, and I got to finish doing the torque arms. And once my pull ties or whatever come in, I'll finish the wiring. I got to get the regulator. It's on the floor there, and the on and off switch for the anti-spark. That's my 200 amp solid state relay. I'll basically have a little. I'm gonna 3D print a little bracket that'll go on the handlebars, and I'll put a little switch here just to turn it off and on. That way, when I plug it into the pack, I don't destroy my Andersons. These large Andersons are a pain in the ass to plug in if they arc out. If they remain smooth, they're fine, but once you arc them a couple of times, they're really hard to plug in. So it's easier just to add something like that to it where you can cut the voltage, plug it in, and then turn it on. So, but that's about it. I'll give you another update once I get the wiring done and get the more parts in. I'm going to be mounting my 9-inch tablet here for controlling the firmware on the BMS. The controller. It's Bluetooth. I was thinking of putting it up here, but I'm going to put it here. So see how that works out. Later, guys.